It had been raining for 7 years, thousands upon thousands of days, compounded and filled from one end to the other with rain, with the drum and gush of water, with the sweet crystal fall of showers and the concussion of storms so heavy they were tidal waves come over the islands. 1,000 forests had been crushed under the rain and grown up 1,000 times to be crushed again.
Hi, I'm Maria. I'm here to interview you about your life on Venus. So, how's Venus?
Dark, depressing. The sun just never comes out and it's really cold.
It's actually nothing compared to the weather on Earth.
Sounds kind of depressing. So, how do you entertain yourself?
Usually all the kids go to the school in the morning and all day they're there. And when they're at school, they always hope for the sun to come out.
Hello, Margot. I'm Maria. I'm here to interview you today because of your life on Venus. So, how's Venus?
It's very similar to what they said. It's very dark and the sun never shines, and every day you wait for the sun to come out, but just never quite happens.
When was the last time you saw the sun?
The last time I saw the sun, the last time the sun came out, I didn't get to see it because of a very long story.
Why don't you tell us?
It was 7 years ago, and it was the most horrific day of my life. It was 7 years ago, and it was the most horrific day of my life.
It says here in this newspaper that they're giving, in the side that NASA is giving away a lot of money to people who start civilization on other planets.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think we should join.
I like the idea, but how do you think Margot will feel?
I think she'll be fine and happy.
Well, let's do it then. Hey, Margot! Hey, Margot!
Hey, Margot!
Margot!
The rocket men and women came to a raining world to set up civilization and live out their lives.
The children pressed to each other like so many roses, so many weeds intermixed, peering out for a look at the hidden sun.
Do you think the sun will really come out?
What?
The sun.
Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous.
Why not?
It's been 7 years since the sun hasn't come out yet. After all this time, you still think it will?
Well, just because it hasn't came out yet doesn't mean it won't now.
I guess you've got a point there.
They said it'll happen today. The sun will come out today. Well, I'm not so sure, but I hope it does.
Margot stood alone. She was a very frail girl who looked as if she had been lost in the rain for years, and the rain had washed out the blue from her eyes and the red from her mouth and the yellow from her hair. She was an old photograph dusted from an album, withered away, and if she spoke at all, her voice would be a ghost. Now she stood separate, staring at the rain and the loud, wet world beyond the huge glass.
Hello, is anybody there?
Margot, it's your turn. Oh, she's daydreaming again.
Margot. Here.
It's your turn. Mr. Pepperay didn't call on you.
You should go back to where you came from.
You don't belong with us.
Earthling!
You've never seen the sun anyway.
Yeah, what's that great about it? I think the sun is like a flower. It blooms for just 1 hour.
Did you guys know the sun is only 4.6 billion years old?
No, but I think my typing assignment will be better than yours.
Are you guys excited for the sun to come out?
Of course, but I wish it would come out for more than just 1 hour.
Yeah, that sounds like my poem.
What's your poem about, Margot?
It's about the sun. It goes like this. The sun is like a flower that blooms for just 1 hour.
That sounds cool, but you know this is a writing assignment, right?
Oh, I thought a poem was be fine. Sorry, but this group isn't for you. I think the sun is like a flower. It blooms for just 1 hour.
Whoa, that's good, Margot.
Thanks.
Mr. Bradbury, come look at my picture.
Mr. Bradbury, look at Margot's.
Wow! Margot! This is great. Students, you really need to take a look at Margot's picture about the sun. Really nice, Margot. Fantastic.
Is that what it looks like on Earth?
Well, it's what I can remember. The sun is like copper or fire.
How do you know, Earthling?
What are you reading, Margot? It's my journal about the sun.
It's mine now.
Give me back my journal. Give me back my journal. Give me back my journal.
Come and get it. How long are we going to leave her in there?
We'll just leave her in there for a minute.
Hey, everyone be quiet.
The rain, it stopped.
It was as if, in the midst of a film concerning an avalanche, or tornado, a hurricane, a volcanic eruption, something had first gone wrong with the sound apparatus, thus muffling and finally cutting off all noise, all of the blast and repercussions and the thunders, and then, second, ripped the film from the projector and inserted in its place a peaceful tropical slide which did not move or tremor. The world ground to a standstill. The silence was so immense and unbelievable that you felt your ears had been stuffed or you had lost your hearing altogether. The sun came out. It was the color of flaming bronze, and it was very large, and the sky around it was a blazing blue tile color, and the jungle burned with sunlight as the children, released from their spell, rushed out, yelling into the springtime.
Ground is dry. I've never seen anything like it before.
Wow, the world is so beautiful. I've never seen anything like it.
Let's go explore.
Ouch, my skin is turning red.
The children lay out laughing on the jungle mattress and heard it sigh and squeak under them, resilient and alive.
raining!
They ran among the trees and they slipped and fell and they pushed each other. They played hide and seek and tag. Oh, but most of all, they squinted at the sun until tears ran down their faces. They put their hands up to that yellowness and that amazing blueness, and they breathed of the fresh air and listened to the silence which suspended them in a blessed sea of no sound and no motion. They looked at everything and savored everything. Then, wildly like animals escaped from their caves, they ran and ran and ran into shouting circles. They ran for an hour and did not stop running.
Ground is dry. I've never seen anything like it before.
Wow, the world is so beautiful. I've never seen anything like it.
Let's go explore.
Ouch, my skin is turning red.
Where's Margot?
Oh no, it's starting to rain.
Margot!
They stood as if someone had driven them like so many stakes into the floor. They looked at each other and then looked away. They glanced out at the world that was raining now and raining steadily. They could not meet each other's glances. Their faces were solemn and pale. They looked at their hands and feet, their faces down. They walked slowly down the hall in the sound of the cold rain. They turned through the doorway to the room and the sound of the storm and the thunder. Lightning on their faces, blue and terrible. They walked over to the closet door slowly and stood by it. Behind the closet door was only silence. They unlocked the door even more slowly and let Margot out.